If you're an international student studying in the US and you're currently stressing out because of Trump's new $100,000 fee for H-1B visas, then you need to watch this because I have some good news for you. Well, slightly good news. Here at Wall Street Mastermind, we work with a lot of international students, and we've been getting this question a ton in the last few days since Trump's new $100,000 fee came out. Now, what you see behind me is an article from Yale University and their international student office, okay? And what it says here is the latest update on how this law is actually going to be executed, okay? The USCIS and the Department of Homeland Security, they've further clarified how this law is going to be applied. And as you see behind me, the current restriction only applies to individuals currently outside the U.S. who will seek to enter the U.S. in H-1B status. In other words, one way that you could interpret this is that if you are currently a student who's already studying here in the U.S. on a student visa, and you're not outside the U.S. trying to come over into the U.S., then this $100,000 fee does not apply to you. Now, why do I only say that this is slightly good news and not good news? Well, if you scroll further down, there's another paragraph that says, the proclamation also does not appear to impact H-1B extension renewal petitions filed for individuals who are already in the U.S. Okay, that's good. But we have less clarity regarding an initial H-1B petition requesting a change of status for the beneficiary from a non-immigrant category to H-1B or an H-1B amendment. Change of status and amendment applications filed for individuals within the U.S. and hence not subject based on the plain language of the proclamation, which only applies to individuals outside the U.S., might be considered a new petition by agencies and considered subject. We will update our guidance as we gain more clarity about H-1B change of status for amendment petitions. So in layman terms, what this means is that, if you're currently on an F1 student visa and then you're eventually planning on filing a change of status to H-1B, which is what most international students have to do after they graduate and they get a job, then it's still somewhat unclear whether this law applies to you or not. Based on the plain language of the law, you have to be outside the U.S. for this law to be applicable to you. But because this law is so new, they're very unclear on, exactly how this is going to be carried out, right? So all of this is to say, this law, in my opinion, might not be as bad as you initially thought in terms of how it might affect you and your job prospects as an international student. Because if this doesn't affect students that are already in the U.S., then firms are not going to have to pay the $100,000 fee, which means that it's not really going to affect whether they want to hire you or not, at least not as much as we thought, right? Now, again, the law is evolving, right? It's very new, so you're going to have to keep monitoring for new updates on it and further clarifications that come out. And as always, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, and so you should talk to an immigration lawyer. You can show them this video if you want and ask them to see if they know how to interpret this, because after all, they're the experts. All right, that's all I got for you in this video. Best of luck to everyone.